some liquid courage. I'm kidding. It's cranberry juice. Get on it, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Get the Strap. 6/26/2020. What a month have had. It's been a very weird month in the belt collecting community. Um, we'll talk about it throughout the show. A lot of weird, spooky things have been happening. Um, before we get started, I do want to say how excited I am. I'm very excited for today because I'm going to be obviously speaking with people about wrestling belts, but I'm also excited because tonight at midnight we are going to debut season 2 of Raw Drip. And Vinny's more excited than I am. I'm going to be quite honest with everyone. Vinny's more excited than I am. He wants us to order it together. And I'm like, look, whatever tickles your feet, we'll do it. So I'm going to have the producer backstage, please, if you could play that amazing ad for season 2. Baby, hit it. Yeah, we're gonna order a whole bunch of stuff that we shouldn't, but we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. My first guest for tonight is a member of the military, so we thank him for his service. He is a fantastic guy, a member of our chat, Jones Barbecue and Foot Massage. John, what's going on? John, have you guys you got to check out his video reviews of championship belts. Fantastic guy, great person, great at giving the customer side of owning and buying replica belts, which I actually quite enjoy, and it doesn't make it as serious as we do here, or at least we try to. I'm gonna write down some notes. What's up, Duarte? Write them down, baby. Write them down. Reginald Paul Hawkins, baby. This guy in his cowboy hat. He's always a treat. What? This freaking guy. Okay, we're moving on. Before we get too sidetracked, he is a member of Jones's Barbecue and Foot Massage, Mr. Randall Angel. Randall, how you doing, brother?
Hey man, I'm doing good. I'm doing good, man. I did get my second COVID shot today though. So if I die during the interview, just that's probably what it was.
Please, so we don't want to lose an angel. Don't say that, okay? So I look, man. You are just an amazing guy, right? There's a lot of different people in this hobby, and I can call you one of my confidants. Jones's Barbecue and Foot Massage chat that we have, and we all quite enjoy. And I wanted to bring you on here because you're a perfect example of what happens to a person that comes in the hobby and a strong person that wants to succeed at everything. You went from being a collector to being a middleman, right? So that's why I wanted to have you on. So I want to start first off. When did you get into the hobby?
So I got into the hobby. I think my cousin Rick, who's in the hobby still today, and he's still a collector. He started buying some shot belts, I think in 2017. I was in Afghanistan. He bought his first, I guess, boot, and then he linked me in with the maker he bought from. I'm not going to say his name or anything, but he's still making belts today. I talked to him for a little bit. He kind of bombarded my inbox. So I think it got into 2018, and I blocked him. I ended up staying away from the hobby for about 6 months, and then I got back into it. But first, I got in the hobby just through raffles. I was just getting raffle wins, and that's how I got my first belts until I joined WBR, and I really got into the hobby and active and talking to people. I think going into 19 when somebody suggested Mayan belts. And then I met Eddie, and the rest is. And
then the ball just started rolling. I mean, talk about the belts you bought. How many you have in your collection?
So right now, I mean, I think I've had total that I probably owned is probably around 40 or 50, but I only currently have 8 in my collection. Two of which are actual replicas, one figs, one WW shop, and 6 boots.
Okay. And let
That's
me
what I have
ask
in my
you
current
this:
collection.
when it comes to the quality of the belts, like, do you prefer like your standard 275, $400 belt, or are you more, Ethan, me, kind of on the other side of the aisle, and Vinny and others who go up to classic shields and stuff like that? What do
You
you?
know, so I think I'm like the typical collector that's went all the way in on it. So I think there's been an evolution, and that's why I've owned around 40 belts, because I've owned belts and I'm like, oh, no, 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 I got one from this maker and now I want better, and then I bought some more and I'm like, eh. So I mean, of course, and I credit Ethan and probably you and some others. I mean, I also have a belt from Classic Shields on order, an HD belt, Smoky Mountain heavyweight title.
Ooh,
Uh, so I mean, of course, if you see an HD, but if you see a high quality belt, that's what you want. So I mean, I think it just with me, it depends on if it's that Grail belt that I want it to be. I got my mid south North American come from Mayan, and I think that's worthy of being a Grail belt. From he does a great job with that belt. And then I got the Smoky Mountain come from CS. But I think that if it's something I think is cool, but not necessarily on the top of my list, then I can maybe probably stay in a I'm not gonna say $250 price range. I mean, I want it still to be nice. So I'm,
on the like
probably like
$400 range where
yeah,
it's almost there. Okay, now
correct.
talk to me about your relationship with Royal Belts. Like, how did that work? How did that work out?
Man, this is gonna. So anybody that talks to me may know this already, but I'm a very transparent dude. So my very first belt came from Muhammad Lukman. I don't own that belt
Mhm.
anymore, and I've had like 6 or 7 other ones, and I don't own any of them anymore. I'll be honest with you. I actually have gotten some belts for my son from him, but I mean it's been like an evolution. I've always enjoyed Muhammad. I liked him, but his belts that I got from him were some that got phased out of my collection. To be completely transparent with you,
Yeah.
that's how I got to know him. The way I got to start working with him was, we've kept relationship that whole time for 3 years now. He was done dirty by a couple of guys that were his middlemen. He asked me if I'd be an admin on his page, and I'm like, well, yeah, I'll be the admin. I never intended necessarily on doing as much as I'm doing right now, but I'm
Yeah.
enjoying it, and I know where he's came from, but I also know what he's capable of. So I mean, it's been one of those things where it's like, okay, man, we can do this, but we have to be all in on this if you want my name to be attached to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. And now, this is something because I hear a lot that everyone wants to be a middleman, right? I hear that term a lot, and I don't get where people hear that, because I myself have never had an interest at all to be a middleman. I know everyone that I surround myself with does not want to be a middleman at all. That man, Eddie Williams, isn't a middleman. So
Yeah.
how hard is it for you to do this?
I mean, I mean, some days it's easy. I think some days it takes a little, it's a little bit worse. For me, I'm the squadron sergeant major of CAV squadron here in Fort Worth, Texas. I have 607 soldiers I take care of all day. We have to train them to, be ready to go across the ocean and go kill bad guys. So like it's a little difficult at times to manage priorities, and I have a family, so it's to find the time that some people want from you, notably so because they're buying, spending their money on these belts.
Correct.
So some days is it's but some days it's difficult, and but it's also enjoyable too. It's and I've met you're gonna meet other wrestling fans. I still actively watch wrestling, so
Yeah.
that's positive for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So now, I I ask myself sometimes, what does a middleman do, right? Because you have people who quite literally are middlemen. You give them the cash, they take it, and they pass it on. Then you have people like Eddie, who's not a middleman. Eddie is a business partner. Eddie owns
Right.
the business. And Eddie is involved with progress pictures. Hey, do this. Hey, let me get you a different artwork. Hold back on that. All these different aspects. How, on what level are you involved right now?
So, and I mean, that was the thing initially going in. I mean, I'm not gonna say I can't do what Eddie's doing. Probably, I mean, I can't do it as good as he's doing it right now. That's for sure. But I don't do everything that he does because everything goes through him. So he's gonna be the one that mails the belts out. I'm not doing that currently. Would I say I'm a partner? I mean, it probably more so. I'm certainly not making a profit. You know, some people are like, well, I'm making this and that. I'm not making any. I'm certainly in the red right now. I think I put more into Royal Belts. I know I put way more into Royal Belts because and you know, I don't take any money, but I am involved in the artwork. And then, you know, it's been a learning curve for me because I'm a huge wrestling fan, and I think I have a plethora of wrestling knowledges, but I'm not a, you know, I'm not a Joe Vitanza or Ethan Thompson when it comes to some of these belts. So I have to ask them. But I've met other even customers who are these dudes that know all these things about these belts. So they're helping me, you know. But I am involved in the artwork. I am involved in quality control. The difference, I think, the biggest difference between Eddie and I is not everybody goes through me. Some people still go through Lukeman, and some go through me. But I will tell you though, the second that something goes wrong, for those who've went through Lukeman, they come running to me quickly now, which, you know, and I'm not, the price is the same whether you go through me and Lukeman. And I'll say even sometimes it might be less through me.
Yeah, yeah. And you when it comes to your belts, you're very honest. I mean, we featured in the Intercontinental Championship last
Right.
year, and you brought me an updated version of it from Lupman, which I'll show in a second. But you're very honest about it. When I talk to you, I say, hey, what's going on with this? What how much is this going to cost? 'Cause I was doing my research, and you said, listen, this is my product. This is what it is. You didn't give me a BS story, and I think all middlemen do that. That's one thing that I can say about this hobby is that all these middlemen don't try to upsell you their belts. They tell you this is what it is. You know, have you found that being honest is makes it difficult for you as a middleman, or do you think that trust that you build with that customer is I guess solidified and your name will grow more because you're honest, because there are times that some people you go, well, they shouldn't know that because it's a minor thing. We're going to keep moving forward getting the belt done. Well, what do you think? Do you think it causes more problem, to be honest, or is it something that it's just best for everyone?
No, I mean, at the end of the day, it's the best for everyone because I'm going to say, like, you know, and you hear about some knuckleheads out there, but 90, 8% of the hobby are great dudes. And like, I have a belt. I mean, I'm talking about right here. Uh, and if you just look at it at face value, you know, you're not going to see anything probably crazy wrong with it. But I mean, it's a dumpster fire though, man. And this was a guy's first belt, man. And we were talking before he got it. He didn't order it through me. He got it through Lukeman, and I'm not beating up Lukeman by any means. But I've been where this guy was. I've gotten a belt, that I didn't necessarily appreciate, and but you know what? And we've established relationships. And I will tell you that even with some customers, they'll say, well, who else besides, dude, I'm going to be honest with you, man. I buy from Mayan Belts, Boot Pack. I'm going to different places. I plan to buy from X-Man. I plan to buy from Asif this year, maybe some other guys. I tell them other makers too. Somebody came here for US Spinner recently. I said, hey, man, go see X-Man. Or if you're going for, somebody want a Rocky belt, hey, go. I send them over to Vinny. I'm not here to like sugarcoat anything. So I mean, it's no matter what. Honesty is the best policy, right? We learned that.
Yeah.
But then everybody just has to understand price points, right?
Exactly.
Because Muhammad Lukeman made royal belts, Randy Angel didn't. He made it, and a lot he made his name on it was he's a very sweet dude.
I've heard that about him. I heard he's a sweet.
He makes some, and I'm not saying it's the perfect, but people are expecting him to turn around belts so quick. It's hard to get quality all the time when you're turning around quick and when you're doing it at a price that he was doing it at. But I mean, overall, no, honesty is the best policy because I have the guy who got this belt that I just showed you, the leather, like him and I talk pretty much every single day. And the guy, he's buying from other people. I mean, we talk every single day. So I mean, in the end, I think it helps.
So, like I was saying earlier, we featured the Intercontinental last month, and this you tell me is the updated, and I can see the improvements in the leather, right? I can see
that's where the best improvements are. The stars there are too small, though.
But let me tell you something, man. Last month I had said this, that these makers need to focus on their belts and stop worrying about other people's belts, okay? And I said, Lukman seems to be doing that, following the Mayan route. Mayan has that thing where they focus just on them. What's going on with us? How are we going to improve? And I see a lot of improvements here, man. I really do.
Yeah, man, and sometimes I'm probably a little too tough. I was a drill sergeant many years ago, probably about 15 years ago, and I see that come out of me sometimes with Muhammad, but he's patient with me. And I just told him, and really, I said, hey, look, man, there's a lot of makers that are making improvements, man, and I get it. You have your own shop, and it takes time, but there's what I don't like is just like something that that's not right because you just don't care. You know what I'm saying? Negligence, but he is, and if you go onto our page, you'll see he's working on the leather every single day. So and like you said, with that belt, it is much improved. And I mean, I'm talking about like this leather on this one, man. That's the issue with me on this belt, is this leather, and there's. Until you hold it in your hand, you kind of don't get a good picture of kind of what some of the finer details are.
Always the hands tell the truth.
Right. And the Intercontinental should have been here, but you guys know the snowstorm. So it's been sitting in Austin, Texas, which is only about 45 minutes away from me for the last 5 days. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, no, he's doing a great job improving the leather. Very impressed.
Good. So, brother, thank you so much for coming on with me today.
Absolutely.
Randall's going to go backstage, and he's going to come back later on in the show to wrap up with us. Brother, I appreciate it. Thank you. I
appreciate you too, Jay, man.
What a nice guy. What a nice guy. Now, we're going to jump into, and first I'm going to have a little discussion with one of my co-hosts, because it's something that needs to be said. So first, let me bring on the person that was quoted to be everything that is wrong with the hobby, because he had the audacity to buy himself a FanDuel Big Gold, which has no copyright, mind you. Mr. Michael Hollencheck, my friend, How are you doing on this wonderful evening?
Still trying my best to be the worst thing going today. Yeah.
I find that curious that was said about you by Dan McMahon, because every time, I'm just going to put this in perspective for you. Every time, and you're going to probably think bad of me when you hear this, every time that I'm getting closer and closer and closer to giving Dan McMahon my money, he goes and does something, then I go, my guy, what's... So this is why I want to talk about. This is why I'm bringing this up. He had for sale, I think, the North American, the really big one, championship with Classic Shield plates on Dan McMahon leather. Okay, Dan normally is the guy who tells people that Classic Shields is bad, Classic Shields is bad, Classic Shields is bad. Don't give them business. Don't give them business. Okay, I understand that's your way of because you have your issues going on. The Mid-South North American. So I even seen Dan on his on the group saying, if someone wants to buy a crumb rind from Classic Shields, so hey, don't give them your money. Okay, I'm still all for it, because he's standing firm, calling them trash. They don't, none of that. And he's such a wealth of knowledge. God, this guy is so wealth of knowledge. But then he puts up this champion, this Mid-South North American Classic Shield plates, which are like 2 or 3 years old. They probably cost $800. But you know what? I'm gonna give it to him, $1,000. for these plates. The rest is just this leather, and I heard he was asking for like $3,500.
Yeah, that's a bit much.
This is what I mean, where we are adults here. We need to. I don't care how much Dan wants to ever sell a Classic Shields. That's none of my business. He can sell it for all he wants. But what bothers me is the hypocrisy when it's time for him to sell it, and it's
okay all of a sudden. Yeah,
it's okay, and it's just like, Dan, like, you're a wealth of knowledge, man. I really just I want to sit down with him and just, not even on the show, sit down for like a cup of cranberry juice and talk belts. But it's just when he does things like that, I'm like, I don't get it, man. Like, I respect you and I hold you for it because you stick to your guns. But when you do little things, now there may be more to the story that we don't know, which is fine. But this is kind of the things that I say that we need to leave out of the hobby. If you don't like a maker's work because of you're a copyright activist or because you just don't like Classic Shields or something, just let it be. You don't have to bring the negativity, because then a few years down the road or months down the road, you're going to find yourself with your foot in your mouth, right, Mike?
yeah. I mean, I actually have spoken to Dan recently, and him and I had a brief conversation, if you want to call it that, and I told him point blank, I may not agree with his viewpoints on certain things, but he certainly has the right to have them just as much as I have the right to have my viewpoints. And I mean, even for the most part of what he says is not factually incorrect. There's certainly tactful ways to go about it, but, to each their own. But yeah, it's interesting. I didn't know about that Classic Shields.
And the funny thing is about Dan is that everyone but Dan is always going to hit you with facts. Dan is never going to lie to you. Dan will never lie to you. Dan is going to give you facts, and a lot of people can't hold to that. So now we're going to move on. We just wanted to, I wanted to just talk about that a little bit. Just it kind of bothered me with the positivity thing that we're trying to call out.
Well, I do want to say this, though. That incident happened about 3.5 years ago, maybe. So, I mean, it's not recent. It was a while, and it's actually what made me leave Bell Talk. But it's in the past, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, it's in the past.
So my next guest, one of the people I blame for the next thing that I was blaming both of these gentlemen for something that I'm going to talk about before we get started. First, a good friend of the show, Mr. Ethan Thompson. How you doing, baby?
What's going on, fellas? What's going on? What's good?
Are you ready to rip apart the WCW US, my friend?
I don't know if I can rip it apart that much because I love it, but we can rip apart some quality.
Okay. And the co-host of the 963 podcast and the update, Mr. Joe Vitanza. Joey, look at you, man. You look like a snack. You look like a steak dinner, man.
Hey, give me some of that blue cheese on top, and I'm good.
So we're gonna get started here with this, but I do want to say something. So apparently, right? Apparently, your boy Jay Cross, Bay, has been on. I'm on the Pakistani hit list. Behind the Pope and Justin Bieber for some reason. Now I have no idea why I would be on the hit list, but yeah, they apparently I was told by a friend that they didn't like the stuff that we were saying on this show. And I said, what? And I don't understand why, because everything we talk about is factual. It's all facts. We don't make things up here, okay? You'll see later on that we couldn't find certain information, and we have unknown, because we don't want to provide a number that's not accurate to you. It's what we do. We base things on facts. So I don't understand why they're gonna be angry about it. I don't get why. But do you guys think is that we've been saying anything just insane here?
Nope. I don't think that they like that we're spilling the tea on their game. We're shedding a little light on their game. Because a lot of these makers, let's face it, a lot of these makers, they buy the same plates from the same people, and they're all interconnected, So I don't think they just like that we are centralized now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think some of these makers, I think they talk to each other. I think they think that this show means something, but it's not. You know, like they get the wrong information. They think that Get the Strap is, oh, you're gonna bash all these makers, but it's not. You're just getting the truth out to customers.
Correct. Nathan, what's up, baby? How you doing? So the WCW United States Championship, the Reggie Parks edition, 5-liter. Mr. Hollandchuk, please show the people.
That's right, baby.
There it is.
Oh, I'm doing
The reason I'm not putting Mike on full screen is because we literally have pictures of this thing going to be all here.
You know what's the greatest thing about that belt? The first wrestler to hold it was Lex Luger.
Oh.
I love Lex Luger.
Do you know who the last wrestler was to hold it, though?
I'm gonna say, hold on, Sting.
That's close. Not quite. Kensuke Sasaki.
Oh, because Sasaki beat Sting.
Yeah, and they switched over to the 3-plater during his reign
in late '95. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Jamar, yes, Mr. Jamar. So we're gonna jump right in. Here's the thing: we're not gonna do a Figures Inc. Review. It's gonna go straight to overseas makers, and this is something that we're gonna talk about later. We're gonna address regarding WWE, Figures Inc. and Midwest. There is no official version of this belt other than the real one that you can buy. Which no longer is made. We're going to start with eBay seller because they're always at the bottom for some reason. There's one well-known maker, which I will keep to myself, that sells on eBay. And yeah, that maker does amazing work, but eBay seller AFSPO8 unofficial standard WCW United States Championship. Talk to me. What do you guys think?
That is a terrible looking 2mm brass. The worst leather cut I've ever seen.
I was gonna say the plates look like shallow edge.
It's $160.
Yeah,
2mm brass. Ethan, it's 5 to 8 days, bro. You want to order with the stimmies, man?
You get what you pay for, bro. I wouldn't even buy my kid that, bro.
Mike Hollandchuk, you have a really good belt there. Where how did you acquire it?
This was from a private sale, and I truly cannot tell you the maker because I'm not sure.
How is it? How?
It's not bad. There was a couple little issues with it that I was mostly able to touch up and fix. It is 4mm zinc with this reasonably floppy strap,
and it will blow this away completely. When it comes to quality, I would think, right?
Yeah, that's just.
So here's the thing. This, again, I always say this on this show. If this is what you want to buy, if this is what you can afford, if you don't have the patience for it, you do what you need to do. I'll be happy and support you for it. But if you want to get them, if you want to purchase something better, you gotta do your research. Hold on to your money for a little bit. You know, this leather cut. I mean, Joey, does it look? I was talking to Ethan and I was doing this, and I was just thinking to myself that like it looks like they cut it with scissors.
Oh.
Like they cut it with scissors and didn't even.
Man, it looks like Ray Charles cut that strap for that belt.
You've been way too chilly, bro. And Mike Jones agrees. Ethan, you like leather.
That I don't even know if that's leather at this point. I'm trying to figure. It looks like vinyl,
and it looks like if you were to like hit it, you hear the knock, right?
That is packing leather. That's what I'm gonna call it. That's packing
now,
leather.
Mike, you do some customizations to your belts. You're good at that stuff. Do you think this is like spray painted or because
the plates or the leather?
Now that you mention it, both.
I'll I'm sorry. I'm just mesmerized by it. It's like sucking me in like a black hole into oblivion. I just wow. I'm not gonna say maybe they were. I'm gonna say I don't think they were spray painted because the plates at least because it looked in an earlier shot it definitely had a decent shine to it. But
my bet is those plates are just the simulated gold, the fake gold plate.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, when you're in this hobby for any couple of minutes, you can find out a 5-plater is going to cost you somewhere around $80 just for gold plating, standard gold plating, not 24K or nothing like that. So at a $160 belt, $80 on plating, nah, that's fake.
I'm gonna guess that it has the half tip of death.
Oh,
but Mike, you said something about price last episode. It does. You can't see it, but it does. Look at the.
There it is. Yep, there's the half tip.
So you had mentioned in the comments, Mike, that it was a money saving thing. How much money are we saving here?
See, here's the thing. I'm not sure about how much an actual tip costs because whenever I've had a belt made, ordered one, I've always insisted on a full tip, and they're just like, yeah, brother, we will include, and they do. But I would imagine it's probably, you figure it's 2 pieces, probably about half the price of what a full tip would be. And to them, every dollar counts, sometimes.
So it's because you can get one from Figs
Yeah.
for like $29 or something like that. So I'm like thinking, what's the whole point?
I mean, I'll put it this way. I was told by a maker who I have used in the past that that is a cost saving thing for them because it's they pay half price for it to put it on your belt compared to what a full price would be for a full tip.
Yeah. And so guys, we're gonna take this. This is the low rating. We here advise that if you have the means, if you're thinking about you're gonna collect a little bit more, and you're gonna keep it, you stay away. If you do want to get it, go ahead and get it. But there are other options out there. Unfortunately, not this belt. That's for an unofficial one, but you can get an unofficial that's really good, and we're gonna highlight that next. So the next belt we have on deck is the Mateen Unofficial Standard WCW United States Championship. And Joey, this is your belt.
Mm-hmm. It is. Well, Mateen and his middleman Dustin like to do a lot of raffles, and it was $12 or $13 to enter. And if you win, you get to pick from I think every belt ever made from every promotion, one belt. And so I picked this one. It was 3mm zinc. I got the belt, and when I got it, the plates were good. The leather was peeling all around. Mm-hmm. And I asked Dustin, I said, Dustin, was this a used belt or was this a brand new one? He goes, it was used. So I sent Dustin the pictures, and he said, send the belt back and I will have a brand new one made for you.
Wow.
So I did, and Dustin sent the brand new one to me, which is this one. Now the leather, it's still a little peeling on some spots, but I was able to touch it up. I'll probably get it re-leathered here, soon.
What do you use to touch up to glue that back onto?
Oh man, I'll use Loctite Gorilla Glue. I'm starting to get into leather glue now. I want to try that to see how it is.
And do you find that it works good though?
The leather glue, I haven't used it yet. I'm going to buy it, but the Loctite and Gorilla Glue, it does, but it does get a little bit messy. It depends which Loctite and Gorilla Glue you get, to try to get into those edges and seal it.
Now, this is our rating. This takes the medium rating, 350 smackaroos.
It's actually 300. I'm sorry.
No, it's 3. I talked to him. It's 350.
Oh, wow.
350
for a 3mm. Oh,
yes,
raised his prices.
Medium quality machine stamped leather. He does have other options as well, but that's going to go up in price. Mm-hmm. And you got a time frame of 2 to 3 months, which I spoke to several customers of him. It says he sticks to that timeline. If there's an issue, he does reach out. But other than that, it's I think a belt that's I would call it a beginner's belt.
Mm-hmm.
A belt that you're gonna get and you're gonna be okay with. If you want to upgrade, you'll upgrade. If you don't and you don't have time, Ethan changes his belts like he changes his underwear. So I mean, how many times have you had the BMF now?
Well, that was a different story.
No,
Amazon burnt me twice on that one. So the first one I got, I was happy with. Did the review. Somebody pointed out that there was about an inch worth of the stitching that was crooked, so it was going to bother me. So I sent it back. Got another one, and this one, the main plate had nicks in it, like looked like it got dropped on the ground. So I sent that back, and I just been eye hawking it now. I haven't had the heart to pull the trigger again.
So, this is the first episode that we're gonna have one maker featured twice. Okay, Mr. Hollandchuk, you have had, I believe, 2 of these.
Yes, the second one is the one I have on my shoulder right now. I had the previous one. I actually had to get replaced because the plating started to go bad on it.
Okay. And would you think that this is kind of up to par of that one, or which one do you think has the edge on it?
As far as in reference to which belt?
Both the one you're holding and this one.
Oh, this one. Well, I can guarantee you that Joe's definitely has a better leather than mine. Plates look pretty close to the similar, although I've noticed there's a difference in the main plates. Mm-hmm. Specifically, if I can put it up on the sides, the far sides of the main plates look shorter than mine.
Yeah. Okay.
Mine are longer. Now, as I'm not exactly sure which is more accurate, but
yeah. Jeff Parthay on that.
Yeah.
Who?
So, okay. Now, I think this is a decent belt. Joey, you're the owner of this belt.
Yes.
Would you think that you would have to replace this belt in the future for something much higher quality, or are you okay with this? Because there's also something going on in this hobby that we're all a part of. There are certain belts people get HD. Every other belt can be a standard or a shop. Ethan wants everything HD now for something. We've created a monster.
Yeah.
But most of us, so Joey, would this be a belt that you would upgrade to something else, or would you keep it?
Wow. That's a tough question. It's one of my favorite belts of all time. Would I upgrade it? I would, but I don't think I need to. Would I like to have an upgraded version? Yes, but I don't think I need to because it's fine with me.
And one thing I've heard in the past month is that a belt doesn't have to break the bank to be a good decent belt in your collection. You don't have to. Me, this isn't the belt that I would get because I want every one of my belts to have a certain thing to it.
And who's the monster?
What you mean? Wait a minute.
Who's the monster?
I can go standard. You're not even considering standard.
No. There's 2 belts. There's 2 belts that I can go standard with and be fine with.
Which one?
I don't think the Big Eagle. You don't need an HD. And the Undisputed. You don't need an HD.
Now the Undisputed. Please go to the shop.
Oh, 100%. Okay? 100%.
Please go to the shop for the Undisputed. So next up is someone that the co-host of the Belt Outcast every Monday night at 7 p.m. Andy Bolger, alongside Mr. Michael Hollandchuk. Mr. Bolger is very big on Muhammad Nawaz. He's not. Everyone else is sleeping except Andy Bolger, because I saw Andy Bolger's IWGP V4 a few months ago, and I said, "Wow, this guy." When I saw it in the picture, I'm like, "Whoa, this guy has a classic Shield IWGP V4, right?" And I talked to him after we became friends. The question came up to Andy, who made this classic Shields, right? He goes, "Oh no, brother, That's Muhammad Nawaz. And I said, who? No idea who Muhammad Nawaz was. And that is who is next. His unofficial standard, WCW United States. Now, he's medium high, and the only reason why it didn't come up to high, is because Ethan cares about HD belts. Ethan has bumper stickers that say HD belts are the best. That's why it didn't get the high rating. But this is a fantastic, I think, representation of the belt. I would be happy with this, right? The leather a little bit, I would get it. I would get it re-leathered, but the plates for me, because again I'm a leather snob, if you will. The plates for me are just amazing. And look, $340. $340. 4mm zinc. He is such a nice guy. And I was asking Andy some questions for this, and I like to do my research, so I make sure that I not only speak to customers, but also to the makers themselves. And I just said, hey, Nawaz, listen, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. And he says, oh, sure. Here are the pictures. This is my wait time. He himself said, communication is not best, bro, is what he said. But I'm always working. And it's good for him to say that. It's for him to not give me a BS story. He literally said, communication, no good. I'm always working. And I like to see that. My concern will be makers that are constantly posting every day. And I'm like, why are you posting throughout the day? Why aren't you working on the damn belts? So let's start with Mr. Hollandcheck.
Yeah.
What do you think about this belt?
I think it looks gorgeous. It really does. I love the deep etching in the main plates and the side plate that we see there. Is that dual plated?
It looks dual plated.
Yeah, that's yeah, I think it is. That's interesting take, because I know the real belt wasn't dual plated. I know that's one of the hot things now to have everything dual plated, but it looks really nice. It does. It's the leather looks great. The plates look gorgeous.
Yes.
Yeah. They really, again, guys, you don't have to break the bank to get yourself a decent belt. Joey, what do you think of this?
I think I want to get rid of my Mateen and get a Nawaz US title.
Don't be chilly on air, bro.
So there's one bad thing I do not like about my Mateen is the leather cut at the top and the way the leather cut is going down. Nawaz
like that dip, yeah.
Yeah, Nawaz has it correct. But there's one thing that a lot of makers get wrong with the U.S. title, and that is the American flag. It should be all red.
All red.
No white.
Yeah.
No white in the flags. But
really?
Yes.
Yes, red and gold were the stripes on the real.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll make sure that whoever makes it for me knows that.
Here's a little something, not to interrupt. I just want to point this out.
Please do.
Because both versions of mine have had this, and I can't tell if the Nawaz one does. I don't think it does. I don't know what this is. Apparently, it's very common among the makers. There's actually two lines worth of stripes on the flags. I don't know if you can see it there. There's the ones that go straight, and then there's wavy ones as well. So there's like two forms of etching on there, which is weird. I don't know why they do that.
Yeah. That's
it's just I don't know. But both of mine have had that for whatever reason.
wow. So again, this that's an art edit that wasn't fixed. Okay.
There you go.
Fantastic looking belt though.
It is.
Fantastic looking belt. He provided me these pictures, so I don't know if he got it from. The funny thing, was it Nawaz? No, it wasn't Nawaz. It was someone else. I'll show you. I don't think I can show you, but it's. I asked him for pictures of the belts, and the first picture he sent me is a picture of Josh Hammer with the WCW US. And I'm like, what? He's like, do you know Josh Hammer, my bro? I'm like, yeah, we're friends, but why are you sending me a picture of Josh with the US? So this is I like it. Nawaz does great work. I'm thinking about it. At least the plates, because I need the nice leather. I need
Mhm.
um the really good looking leather. Look at that picture, man. Look at that.
That's
Looks
gorgeous.
beautiful. I like the curve in the main plate. You could see.
Yeah.
That's a really nice curve.
And
I
Mr. Cross, you have pictures of what the U.S. flag should look like on that title belt. I
Yeah,
just sent it to you.
and I like the curve
Yeah.
that it's nice, man. It really is. So Joey, now you have the standard.
Yes.
Ethan has the HD.
Of course, I got to get shown up by Ethan.
You know, you two got issues, man. You guys, let me tell you something, guys. When I found out that I was on the maker hit list, the first thing into my mind when my friend was telling me this, I went in my head, "The fuck does those two do now?" Literally,
Wow.
just what the hell do they do now? And they're like,
Just
"Oh no, it's your show and all that stuff." I'm like, "Well, they're partially to blame because they're on there." So,
just
but
spitting
no,
facts, bro.
you two got things going on, man. So this one out from the Noir's place because Ethan uh, threatened me and said that the HD had to go, hot. Now, Ethan, talk to me about that mindset. Why do you think that?
It's unfortunate that we don't have more HD makers. You only have a couple. This belt, though, of all the United States belts I've seen, etching wise, depthness of the plates, everything, I mean, it's just money. Like, I can't bring myself to get rid of it. Leather's cool, no problems. It's good leather, but when it comes to HD on this, with the negative space, the eagle, and just how it looks, man, pictures speak for itself.
So this is $650 for an HD. Um, Medium quality hand tooled leather. He can do stamp as well, um, machine stamped, and has a time frame of 6 months, which I think is very reasonable. Um, Joey, you've had not a lot of experience, but you had one experience with. Do you think 6 months is good for an HD belt?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think it's fine. I mean, if Mateen's standard is 3 months, then HD could be double that time. I'll tell you this, man. I think this belt will look really good CNC.
Ooh,
I think it could
you
really look
talk.
good.
You're talking. You're talking dirty, Mr. Hollowcheck.
Yes.
These plates.
Again, absolutely gorgeous etching. I really love. You could see the depth and the detail on the sunburst type star below the heavyweight there, and
Really nice.
side plates look good. You could clearly see the grapplers. The headlock being put on there. Sometimes some makers will be iffy with that. They kind of can't really tell what's going on, or it looks like two blobs, having sex or whatever they're doing. That looks really good.
Look at that! Look at that belt tip. And a whole belt tip. That what a crazy concept. A whole belt tip.
The backing looks nice and smooth too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ethan,
no leather
what do you
pilling.
clean this with?
Honestly, the leather, nothing. Plates wise, I just use Dawn dish soap, and then on off weeks, I little ammonia free Windex. Have not touched the leather on that belt.
Let's see. I thought CNC is HD. Are those different? Who went on
Yes.
Did Eddie go and explain this on his show?
I believe he
Yeah.
did.
Ethan, you want to take a quick crack at it?
Yes, CNC is done with the machine, like a computer program. They mill it out. True Liquid HD it's still acid etch, but it's a different process and it's a cleaner process. So like all your classic shield belts, when you get an HD belt, you see the ridge lines, and the ridge lines look like they look like chisel marks down the edges. Those chisel marks, that's what true HD looks like.
Okay. So here is going to be something I want to tell you guys about this show. We're not biased to any makers at all. We have no loyalties to anybody. So we are not going to feature Classic Shields and ORM in every episode because they're going to take the high and the platinum spot every time, and that isn't good for the hobby, because if someone is looking for another product, the same kind of product, they should be able to see the other options. They should be able to see that, hey, there's this maker that maybe nobody knows that does really well. So we try, when we give our platinum rating, we try to give, when it comes to price, the way it looks, and just like the whole overall experience of buying from the maker, I would think. But at the end of the day, it is all based on quality. So for a platinum rating, we're going to go with SM belts. And man, I've seen this guy's belts. And first of all, $590. You don't need an HD to be, in platinum status. You got to deliver a fantastic product at a good price, reasonable time frame. And this guy does it. I'll start with Ethan, since this is standard. This is standard. Talk to me.
Well, like you said, when you're trying to grade these, you're trying to grade these fair and with plate quality. But then you go to his leather. SM has some very, very nice leather. Like, arguably one of the top leather guys right now in the game. Yeah. So you can't dispute that.
And $590. And, I was talking with him, for the show, and he said, time frame is 2 to 3 months. But if there's an issue, I'll contact you. And I go, well, what kind of issues? And he said, sometimes the belts get damaged. When in the process of getting made, they get damaged. The leather may get damaged, but I always try to contact the customer and inform them of that. But a lot of times it's I've spoken to 2 different people who ordered from this person, and he was the one who sent me the picture of Josh Hammer. I'm like, why? But okay. But here is the kicker: $590. He's very humble too. I hit him up and he says, hey, I try to do my best. I'm improving every day. That's how humble this guy is. Mike Hollandchuk, do you think $590 is reasonable to ask for this?
I do, because I'll tell you what, I'm absolutely mesmerized by that just gorgeous beveled edge that's around the entire leather. I mean, that really sticks out.
This man, in fact, don't forget, fellas, quality of the zinc means a lot in the finished product. Yeah. If you get dirty zinc, it's not going to come out good. It's not going to look good. Right?
Now, there's a little interesting part there. Now, I want to see just, okay. I kind of feel like if you look at the United States, the outline of the country there, where Florida is,
mm-hmm. I
feel like something's not right there, because you can see it's really going into the eagle wing.
It does look like it's going into the
That I don't know if it's too big.
Yeah, it's generally not as pronounced. It's I know on mine it's too smaller little.
I mean, on mine it's there, but it's the actual country is smaller.
Look, there it is.
Yeah,
it's actually cut into. That's right.
Yeah, that's pretty deep in there. That's too deep.
And the red, the C behind Michigan is red too.
But do you see that? That's that cut.
That's too deep. Yeah, that's too far in.
I'd still take it. I ain't gonna front. I'd still take it.
No, I'd take it.
I'm looking at a ring used Reggie Parks US title right now from our good friend Dan.
Dan, okay. What?
It's not bad. If you go back to SM's main plate, like the Florida, where it goes into the eagle.
Right here?
Yeah, like on Dan's US, it goes into the eagle wing.
Now, is that an actual ring used belt,
Is
or
it
is that
was?
like classic Shield?
He said real 1992 WCW US.
It's supposed to cut into it?
I'm gonna find a picture of the actual belt. It may take me a minute here. Hold on.
The world waits in silence.
I'm sorry.
No.
Google is your friend.
Didn't Conrad Thompson post one on his Twitter or something? He took it for a ride in his car on his seat the other day, a couple weeks ago.
I think so. I don't think you're gonna get a good quality picture of that. Now, Mike,
Yes.
I don't know. Does anyone know this? Is the font for the United States correct?
It does. If you, it's kind of hard to see. The Rick Rude picture he sent you,
Mm-hmm.
it does cut into there pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
All right.
it's okay.
And the C is red behind. And the C is red behind Michigan too.
Oh, so okay.
So it's actually a more accurate.
He's actually more accurate. There you go.
Side plate.
You heard it here from your good friends at Get the Strap.
I'm going to send you the picture right now. So you can,
for $590. $590. You can get this belt. Now, Ethan, what do you think it's worth it?
Excuse me?
Do you think it's worth it?
100%. 100%. Plates are really good. Obviously, his main plate is more accurate now that we know. The leather, I'm a big fan of his leather. I watch his page a lot. I'm a big fan of leather.
Yeah, I think he has the best leather in the game.
Yeah, I would say that.
Okay. Well, Mike, the photo's not loading. So
okay. All right, let me try it again.
I want to see this picture. If we can't get it to you, we'll post it on the site.
Yeah, artwork wise, it looks a lot more accurate than most of them.
I do think the font is off though a little bit on United States. I could be wrong.
You think so?
I do, yeah.
So the problem is the US on is a little too big. So I think that next we're gonna go to the original maker.
Yes.
Mike, what can you say? I mean, you've been in this hobby the longest. What can you say about Mr. Reggie Parks?
Beyond an Owen Hart and Stu Hart story and just seeing what he's put out there, not much. I've never, obviously had any dealings with the guy, other than he's obviously a a great craftsman and a great belt maker.
Imagine that your legacy. One of us. Imagine a belt is your legacy.
Mm-hmm.
That lives on forever. Your legacy, his legacy, is going to be the Triple Crown. It's going to be all these countless belts that he has made. That's his legacy. Reggie Parks, unofficial WCW United States Championship. Gorgeous belt. The original price is currently unknown. I have contacted Reggie Parks, and we haven't been able to get that information back. So a lot of secrecy going on about that. I understand why. But current market value, this is worth $4,500 to $7,500. And listen to this. This is how insane, because Dan is right. We may disagree on a lot of things, but Dan is right that a Reggie will always be a Reggie. Nothing that comes out of Pakistan will ever top that. So I saw it, and the reason why I put $7,500 is because I saw it 6.5 months ago. Mike Jones and Ethan are constantly on eBay, constantly looking at prices, writing all this stuff. I mean, we love, this is a hobby for us, right? It's not our lives, but it's a hobby for us. And we're constantly just talking belts and seeing deals and showing them to different people. And I saw this, and it was on there, I would say like for 15 minutes. And when I went back into ClickDot, I said, sorry, you've missed out on this item. $7,500. Joey, would you take out another mortgage for that?
Ooh.
That's not even ring used. That's not ring used.
I'll speak for Joey on this one. I'm not smart, but if somebody has one in the market for $4,000, I'll take it right now.
Not for 75, but like
Not
from 3 to 4, then yeah, I would.
Now, this high quality hand tooled American leather. Time frame unfortunately unknown. Colin probably bought it. This is amazing quality. I would be okay with the SM, and look at that. Ethan, 001. 001, that marker, that's a beautiful belt. That's a belt that you keep forever.
That's a forever belt.
That's a really decent looking belt. And again, we don't know how much this originally cost. I would say probably like $1,500, but when we get that info, we'll update you guys on the site, in the groups, and let you guys know. But this is just quality on top of quality, and it's a belt that will bring tears to Hazard F5's eyes, I think.
He doesn't tool around the logo plate. Oh, and the flag.
That stamp is what's going to get you everything.
I find it interesting.
Which is weird. The flag is not the same flag they used on the TV.
No,
all red was on TV.
Yeah, I was going to say. I find it interesting that there's actually paint inaccuracies with this, because not only, again, does he have the white stripes in there, not just the red, but if you go back to the main plate, the actual TV version did have the red paints behind by Michigan in the lake there, whereas this one doesn't have it. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
And we don't know how old this belt is, because I remember Dan said that if Reggie made 10 winged eagles, you're going to get 10 different winged eagles.
He does say that. He does say that. And that ends it. Yay. So we I think they're all fantastic belts. Not all of them. No, that's not true. Not all of them.
It's at least one that isn't fantastic.
Do its thing, right? But now before we're gonna go into this, I'm gonna bring Randall back on to come over this conversation. Randall, thank you for staying with us, brother. How you doing?
What's up, guys?
What up, Randy?
So say hi to Randall. We're in front of company, damn it.
What's up, boys?
Randy.
What's up, boys?
Here's something that I do want to go over, because when we originally started this last time, the last episode, we spent an hour, I think like 45 minutes talking about the Figures Inc. belts.
Yeah.
There is no Figures Inc. belts here for this belt. Do you guys think that Midwest, WWE, Figures Inc., you think they're losing money because of this? They can't come to an agreement thing.
Yeah, which is crazy to me. They'd rather make no money than a killing, because if you made a shop quality 5-plater comparable to like the V2 now, I think it would be sold out constantly.
Yep. I mean, they
Classic
made
tag.
the 3-plater. They made the 3-plater. WWE owns the rights to WCW. Put out the 5-plater on the shop. Can you imagine? I mean, how many sales they would get if they put out the 5-plater?
I'd buy 2.
Like what Ethan said, it would be crazy. Now they do have, I mean, Figures Inc. did put out the 3-plater. I have it. So does Jay. I mean, it's a beautiful belt. I mean, for what it is. I mean, and look at how much that, Figures Inc. 3-plater belt is going for now.
No, Randall, what do you think?
I mean, I've got to imagine that they're losing money because I think that I also think there'd be a lot of people involved. I would also like to think they have marketing teams that would understand the market and be able to do some cost analysis and what they would make profits. But I feel like they have to be losing money by not coming to an agreement and sell this thing.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, I was gonna say, if I'm like WWE, I would go to Parks and be like, "Yo, I'll give you a cut," you know. I mean, but I wonder if it's Milliken too, maybe throwing in a little wrench in the plans, or what's going on, or maybe WWE just doesn't want to make it.
I mean, even if it was Milliken, though, he'd be smart to get some income coming in to take care of some of these orders and things like that.
I mean, I wonder. Yeah, exactly. I wonder if it's WWE that they don't want nothing to do with WCW.
It very well might be.
But that's part of your history. I mean, that's part of your history now.
It's throwing money away because I mean, again, this belt, every maker makes it. Everybody wants it. It's constantly a bestseller for almost every maker out there. People want this belt. It's really throwing money away.
And that belt, that 5-plater, was only around for 4 short years.
Yeah, that's.
But maybe he said it's personal. Maybe it's personal. Maybe he said like the WWF is such like the image that it's personal, and they don't want to bring something over that wasn't WWF because they want that to be the legacy is WWF. Because I think that Vince is a very personal guy who still holds it he still holds a grudge about WCW.
Yeah, the only WCW belt they have on the shop is the WCW Big Gold. That's 5mm.
And the NWO.
Yes.
Yeah, and not WCW, but they do the ECW.
Oh yeah, So here's
the ECW is their version of it, though.
Which I have. It's a great belt, but I would also like to see Paul Heyman's original version.
With the orange and the purple.
Yeah. So the thing is with Figures Inc. belts, and I hear this a lot. There's a lot of criticism for it. And I put a picture up the other day of me taking a picture of myself through the mirror image of my WCW 91 and 93. Because that's the picture that I use to tell makers, hey, if you want me to buy a belt from you, you're harassing me all day to buy a belt, duplicate this picture with one of your belts, and I'll buy a belt from you. I haven't gotten one yet. And for me, I just always see it as, look, there are going to be people out there who have a vested interest in you not buying a shop belt because either they sell belts themselves or things like that. That's fine. But you can't tell a customer that your belt's going to be better. For example, the United States Championship, right? United States Championship. I took a picture of it when I first got it, and you can see it's a bowl because it's hollowed out on the inside. Okay. There are people that complain that said belt is hollowed out, and Figures Inc. is cheaping you out. Mm-hmm. My maker can make it, but their maker makes it 4mm. Right? It doesn't look good. It looks bad. There are certain belts in the shop that you don't need. There's no business to be booting, right? I'm just gonna say spinner because everyone knows my issues with the spinner. I'm not. If I start talking about it, we'll be here till launch time. Till it's time to launch Aussie season 2. We'll be here.
They'll throw on the network logo.
Please. That's not. No, I'm not. Don't take this wrong. X-Man, Mike Jones's boy, does a fantastic US spinner. I'm talking about the WWE Championship spinner. Please, I plead with you. I'm just going to say this once. Give me this moment. Stop booting spinners, please. But there are people who talk about this United States, for example, and they say, well, it's hollowed out. Nigga, well, use some common sense. What do you think will happen if you filled this entire plate with zinc? Like, do you understand the argument that you're bringing forward? It makes no sense. Ethan, talk to me because you've bought some shop.
I'm that guy, though, that don't even agree with you putting tire weights in your... Don't put wheel weights in your belt. That's just the kind of guy I am. Don't put
It's-
you.
I agree. It's not that serious.
Yeah, it
It's-
really isn't that serious.
I think if they want to do it, go ahead. I actually was
Yeah,
looking at
but-
this computer the other day. I'm like, I want you to be a little bit heavier just for my ego. But I think, Randall, you're a middleman. You're honest. What do you think about the shop replicas?
Oh, I mean, without a doubt, and I posted up recently. I think on Brothers the Belt. I bought a Figs ROH Classic World Title. The plates are amazing. I did get it re-leathered with Mark Maggard. And I mean, it's a Grail belt to me. I paid 70, and I paid 70. I mean, I got a deal on it. But then I had like my favorite belt. I buy the Cena Signature Series Spinner, man, and it's amazing. My wife got it for me for Christmas, and it's perfect. The leather. I know that people get it's stiff or whatever, but I'm hanging it up on the wall anyway. So I mean, it's beautiful. The plates are, to me, are beautiful on it. I could possibly restone it, but nobody can compete with it. And we've seen it already. We already know that just nobody can compete with it.
So Mr. Hollencheck,
Yes.
which belt out of the ones in the rankings would you prefer personally for your collection?
I'm serious. Seeing these pictures and these reviews, thinking about messaging Nawaz and getting his. I mean, I really thought that looked gorgeous for what it was. Yeah, absolutely. And for the price point, I thought it was absolutely beautiful.
Price point is where it's at. Ethan, which one would you take?
I'll still rock with the Mateen. I love this HD belt, but again, the Waz, for people that understand the Waz, you just don't sleep on the dude. He is a fantastic maker. The Waz would be my 2.
Randall, I know I'm putting you kind of in a little hot seat.
No, you're not putting me in a hot spot at all.
You sure, bro? Because I could skip you, bro.
No. You're not putting me in a hot spot at all.
Talk to me.
Well, for one, I'd say that some of the turnaround times, I don't know if they're completely accurate on some of those. But I mean, I think the dual plated on the etching always makes it pop a little bit more. But I mean, the same difference for the price and the quality. I'm gonna have to go Nawaz.
Joey.
I was gonna go Nawaz, but that SM belt, man, that leather,
Nice.
the burnishing of the edges, it's just, man, and like the accuracy of the belt, like with the US flag, with Florida going into the feathers and everything.
Yeah, no, it's so. One more thing I wanted to inform you guys of. So I get a lot of messages now, and that's great. If you guys want to message me and ask questions or message any one of these guys here, I'm sure they're more than happy to have you. Message us if you need any info. But I have people messaging me, and someone actually coincidentally sent me a message when I got my Ring of Honor World, my current Ring of Honor.
Nice.
From Figures Inc. The new version 2. If you're gonna get one, get version 2 from Figures Inc. Don't get it from the old Ring of Honor with the black backing. With the red backing. Don't get that. And so someone hits me up and says, "Hey, love Ring of Honor. These are the 4 belts I want. Where I want to get the current world. This maker is willing to do one for me, premium everything, $575." And I said, "Cool, but why don't you go with the one for Figures Inc.?" He says, "Well, Figures Inc. is trash." And I go, "My brother, open your eyes." Okay. I told him, "Listen, $200. That's all that my current Ring of Honor cost me, the new version. On Figures Inc. right now, you can go, and you're gonna get a fantastic belt. The leather is gonna be a regular Figures Inc. leather, but you could get it re-leather for $250, $300. Ethan, how much of the average does the leather go for these days?
Count on $250 to $350 depending on who you're getting.
Yeah. Same what I prayed. 250.
So that's $550. Right? Oh, $450. That's $450. And $250 plus $200, $450. And that's it. You have a fantastic belt, much less than the maker who just got you this belt and it doesn't shine. Because again, if Figures Inc. is so bad, and again, the reason why I advocate for Figures Inc. is that if you are a new belt collector, and I don't know if you guys would agree with me with this, but hear me out. If you are a new belt collector, I suggest you to get a shop, not just because it's reliable in price and retaining its value, and it's easy for you to sell it, but it will spoil you in a good way. There is no way that a $300, $400 maker is going to match the crisp, clear mirror finish that you can wave and they can see, and you can see yourself like a mirror. There's no way they're going to match that. Okay, so you can get this decent belt that you can resell. You don't know what's coming from Pakistan. You haven't been burned. That's going to happen to you eventually, unfortunately, unless you're very, very guarded. But if you put this out there, Ethan, what do you think?
I wholeheartedly agree with everything, because you look at it, people get caught up on big belt. I'm the same way in a lot of ways. You know, I gotta at least have the Figs Deluxe if I'm going that route.
Don't get the Deluxe V2 Undisputed. Please don't give Vince McMahon.
No, not that. No, I'm talking about the old Figs. No.
Okay.
But just Fig belts. Like, again, if you go back to that first image you put up of that $160 brass belt that you get to 5 to 8 days or whatever it is, save $100 more, and I promise you, you'll get a better belt on shop.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
$100.
And it's going to retain its value. If someone tells you no, that it's not, they have a vested interest, man. I know that. For me, shop belts are good because, number one, no one can argue this. Their leather looks amazing. It's when you touch it that's the problem. When you're just playing it, that's what I do. These guys touched, and Mike, you do this. You tell me you do this all the time. When Mike is about to watch a match, he grabs that certain belt. Damn it, he sits there with it, and he watches. Ethan is constantly cuddling his belt. Joey, I see everyone, Randall, everyone grabbing their belt. Randall loves to put his over his shoulder. Me, no, I just put that shit there, and I literally touch it once a month when I clean them. # clean your belts. And I make sure that it's just, hey, man, how you doing, bro? I make sure that they're eye candy. They're not bothering anybody. I don't grab them. That's just me. But for them to sit there, it's good because it holds the belt perfectly. It is stiff.
That's true.
It holds it perfectly, and it doesn't. Now you want to get it re-leather, sure. You're going to get a much better belt. But for me, it's good. So Joey, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm not that big of a fan of shop belts. Now, you were talking about the ROH World, and I went on Figures Inc. and I was looking at the World, and I'm telling you, man, if I was an ROH fan, I would soup that up for $200 for 9 pounds of that belt. For 9 pounds of that belt looks beautiful. That's a steal all day.
Bro, it's like Wendy's chicken nuggets, man. They're just giving that shit away.
Man. Oh, spicy, real spicy,
it's crazy. So I think it's guys. I think it's great that you guys have all these opinions, and you guys, I appreciate each and every one of you. I do want to inform you guys that although this belt that we talked about today wasn't on, in this book, I do highly suggest you guys pick up a copy.
Yeah, I have it.
Championship.
Yeah, okay? I have all those. That's nice.
This is by Dick Bourne, and let me tell you something. This was recommended to us by Mark Cyrus, a wealth of knowledge, very nice guy who loves talking wrestling, and he recommended this to me after I bought the Dome Globe book. And this is a fantastic read. It doesn't have the WCW US in there, although it has the Luger, which was referred to as WCW US for a bit. But this is a great read. Pick this up if you want to read details on belts and all sorts of different things. So, guys, thank you so much. I am going to now address the people myself. You can find Mike Holinchek on the Belt Outcast with Mr. Andy Bolger at 7 p.m. every Monday night. Ethan Thompson will always be in the comments trolling people. Randall chilling, and he'll also be in the comments. And Joey Vitanza, come on, Joey, smile, bro. The update at 963, and they do a fantastic job. So you guys, thank you so much for coming on. Let me address the people. So today we went over a few different things. WCW United States, a fantastic belt. I do thank my guests for being on. The fantastic Vinny Vegas, the ever dutiful Mike Jones. Thank you very much for helping me make the show happen, and for you, the fans, for tuning in. I will also let you know that next month I'm very excited for, where we're going to be reviewing the WWF European Championship. So people are going to be excited. Again, thank you so much for watching. It has been a pleasure from all of us here. Take care, and I'll see you next time.